Why do you play golf?
Why do I play golf? Geez, that's actually a loaded question, and it's I mean, it's one of the questions that I ask most of my students right at the beginning of almost every lesson or any new lesson that I teach. I ask them why they play golf, and I think it's a really important question to ask, because I think a lot of people play golf. Um, they say they play golf because their friends play, or they say they play golf because they like to shoot really low scores, or they're looking for a result. But if you really ask somebody that question, um, I think usually not the first thing that comes to their mind, but the second or third thing, they'll kind of remind themselves, I play golf because I like being outside, I like hanging out with my friends, I like using my body, being out in nature, and I think it's really important to remind ourselves of that, because whether we're getting better or getting worse or having a good day or bad day, if you ask somebody why they play golf, they list off those things are there regardless of the result of the day. And so it was always just a really funny question that I used to ask working in the golf shop. I don't really spend that much time working in the pro shop anymore. I'm mainly just teaching. But I would say, how's your day going today? Before a round of golf. And somebody would say, oh, I'll tell you in 4 hours. Like, it takes 4 hours to play a round of golf. And I was always just like shaking my head. It's like, you know, it's a sunny day. You're playing golf today with your friends. You're going to go outside, walk around a park for 4 hours and hit some golf shots. It's like, it's a good day. Like, don't let the end of the day of like your scorecard, then it'll be a good day. It's like, no. Like, it's a good day when you're on the golf course with your friends. So yeah, why do I play golf? To connect with my friends, to connect with myself, to connect with nature. I mean, it's sort of a moving meditation to me.
Do you miss anything about working in the golf shop?
Do I miss anything about working in a golf shop? Wow. No, I don't. I don't. If you're starting out as a golf teacher and you want to teach golf lessons, it's a great spot to connect with people. Like I like the conversations that you have in there. But, my personality, it kind of feels like you're a little bit of a sitting duck. And so, I prefer to be outside on the range. My background is in professional golf. So I'm like, interested in working out, using my body, being outside. And so whether I'm working on my own game or somebody else's game, I like to be outside. So yeah, for me, I mean, there's so many great golf professionals that just love, a lineup in the pro shop and all of the, having 10 tasks to do and keeping track of this and keeping track of the tee. That's not for me.
Do you feel like you have more of an impact on working one-on-one with people or in small groups with people?
Yeah, I mean, for me, it's all about connections, and whether it's good or bad, I really value deep connections with people. And, if you spend, a couple hours on a driving range with somebody, or you go play a round of golf with them, you really, like, I've always felt like you could really get to know somebody playing a round of golf with them. You watch somebody, successful business person, miss a 3-foot putt, like, there could be some embarrassment associated with a putt that you should make 95 or 98% of the time. And, you just kind of watch the way that somebody reacts, like, it happens. Or if somebody throws their club or breaks their putter or swears or is pissed off, it's kind of like, is this somebody that I want to spend a lot of time with or do business with? So, Tom Watson, he's one of the best golfers of all time. He won the U.S. Open in 1992 at Pebble Beach, down in Northern California, where I'm from. And early on in the round, I think it was the 4th hole, he missed a 2-foot putt. That's like a putt that 99.9% of the time pros are going to make. And there's a lot of embarrassment associated with that. People are watching him, and you could just see that it would be possible for his round to unravel after that. And in his mind, the way that he perceived that was, even the U.S. Open champion misses a 2-foot putt. And so he took something that was possibly really negative and could affect the outcome of his day and obviously his life, because winning the U.S. Open is, for anybody but Tiger Woods, is a life-changing event. And he just said, it happens, you know. So when I hear stories about Tom Watson doing that, and then I watch somebody that's been playing golf for 3 years and never practiced their putting, and they miss a 2-foot putt, and then they go over to their bag and they break their leg of their bag off with their putter, it's like, why do you play golf? You know, like, it kind of just goes back to that. So a mentor of mine once said, it's not what happens to you in life, it's how you respond to what happens that makes the real person. And so, you know, golf just offers opportunities for that on every shot, you know. So
when you are teaching, I don't know how to
I would
frame
say
that.
coaching. Yeah.
Thank you. So when you're coaching people, how much of it is mindset?
You know, it's really interesting because the way that I coach, you know, I run a business called the Golf Body Project, among some other, you know, businesses that I'm running. I'm running a business called the Salt Spring Island Golf Retreat, but, you know, it's really the same thing with a different name. And I would say I don't necessarily feel like I work on mindset a lot. What I try to do is I try to get people into their body, and I'm asking them questions about, you know, like they're making a golf swing, and I'm like asking them a question, you know, how does your hip move, or what did it feel like there, or did you feel the weight transfer? And I'm just asking them, can you get into your body? You know, because a golf ball, you know, people say golf is so mental. It is mental, you know, but only if you make it mental. And so, yeah, what moves the golf ball? Like, your body moves the golf ball. So I would say the aim, although we talk about mindset, would be to get into your body over a round of golf or over a lifetime of golf. Is like, as I get better at golf, I find that I think less on the golf course. And to me, that makes golf worth playing. If golf for you or anybody that plays could be an opportunity to get out of your head and into your body over whatever period of time you play, it could be half an hour, it could be 2 hours, it could be 4 hours playing 18 holes. I mean, if you carve out that time out of your day to get into your body and out of your head, like, I mean, that's a game worth playing to me, and I'm sure that could resonate with a lot of people.
So what is the Golf Body Project, or how did that come about?
The Golf Body Project's just a name that I came up with. I was working with a golf school in California called Extraordinary Golf. The guy who started that school, Fred Shoemaker, you know, my college golf coach was a student of Fred Shoemaker's. His name was John Kennedy, and I got introduced to Fred when I was in college, and it basically just one thing led to another, and I ended up, Fred has become sort of a mentor of mine. And so, you know, I'm really into the fitness side of golf. I'm really into like lifting heavy weights and hitting the ball far, and you can see that that's where the game's going. And so for me as a competitor, the Golf Body Project is sort of like where Isaac Weintraub golf meets the end of Extraordinary Golf, like all of my background in that. And to me, it's like, yeah, can you dive into your body when you play golf? You know, and then if you want to get better, we don't have to talk about golf. You could just work out or train your body to move in a certain way, but it's just kind of like a way to leave the mind behind and then be in your body.
Mm-hmm. And in the sense of golf, like there's a lot of criticisms, right, about golf, that it's a rich man's sport and it's very luxurious in a sense. You don't need to include. But so where would you like to see the game of golf go, or what kind of purpose does golf bring to your life?
Yeah, I think that's a really good question, because, you know, growing up in Santa Cruz, California, and now I live on Salt Spring Island, and I, you know, bounce back and forth between those two places. Those places are very progressive, and one of the coolest things since moving to Salt Spring Island is that, you know, I'll go to a yoga class or be having a coffee in town, and people will meet me and we'll start getting along, and then they'll be like, what do you do for a living? And, you know, I'll say, oh, I'm a golf pro, and they're like, golf, you know, and they and it's always like, oh, you know, there's something, and I'm like, they're like, I hate golf, you know, and it's like, really, you know. And so instead of like saying like, well, I'm like, over the last couple of years, I've just been saying, okay, so what is it? Like, tell me. Yeah, I want to hear this. So I've just been like gathering all of this information from people about like what it is that makes people hate golf, you know, outside of the people that play golf. Because I think most of the people that play golf can see the value in like, you know, doing this and moving your body like it's like a hike with a purpose. And so just gathering that information from people and hearing, you know, like chemical pesticide use, you know, gated communities, you know, rich white men controlling, you know, the systems. It's just like, it's almost like those things have hijacked the game. You know, to me, it's like, yeah, do you enjoy hiking? Do you enjoy yoga? Do you enjoy working out, meditation? Golf is this amazing combination between using your mind to set an intention to hit a golf shot, and then shutting off your mind at that point, and then having your body get to go out and act on it. And so this is the message that I get to bring to people, but I definitely hear what they're saying, and I think that all of that criticism is actually really valid. I mean, over my career, I've worked at some of the best golf courses in the world. I worked at Augusta National for a year where they hold the Masters tournament, and I worked at Los Angeles Country Club and Pasatiempo and Santa Cruz. And yeah, I would say, you know, to lesser degrees at Pasatiempo, you know, because in Santa Cruz, you know, you've got a gated community, you've got a guard at the gate, you've got this exclusivity, a lot of pesticide use, you know, a lot of like Roundup, herbicides, and I just kind of got tired of it. You know, I was in the turf industry for a while, and I did that. I got my master's degree in turf science, and I saw that, and, you know, it was like 3 of my buddies would come visit me in LA, and it's like, where are we playing golf? And it's like, I work at a golf course and we can't play this golf course, so it's like, let's go play the public course. Let's go play the course that's accessible, that's $42, and it's not in as good of condition. And it's like, are we having any less fun, me and my 3 friends playing a golf course that's not in as good of condition? We're going out and like having a few drinks, and I mean, it's like, you know, so these conversations that I've been having with people, like I've been gathering the information, and it's actually spurred me to start with my friends in California. And also there's a couple of people here on Salt Spring Island that are part of it. This organization, a nonprofit organization called Golf 2020, and it's kind of like right in the infancy right now, but we're working on branding strategy, and we're working on creating platforms. But it's basically like, how can we take all of that stuff that people don't like about golf, and how can we get rid of it? Because I don't like it either, and I don't think that you'll find anybody that loves golf more than me. Like, I honestly, you know, maybe my friend Brad Morris, who plays golf with his dog at sunrise or sometimes before sunrise, you know, 300 days out of the year. But I just love the game. I love what it's done for me. I love what it can do for people. And so it's been great, you know, to gather all the information about all the things that people don't like about golf and say, we're working on that. Like, we're working on changing it. And it feels really good.
So it sounds like to me you've taken your love of golf and a sense of purpose, a contribution, giving back, and making it more accessible to people in the community in general.
Yeah, that's definitely a huge part of it, you know, of whatever we're talking about, Golf 2020. I mean, you know, am I afraid of people stealing this idea and making it their own? No, because it just would, you know, it's not even my idea. It's just that it needs to be more accessible. You know, it needs to be cheaper. People who normally wouldn't have access to golf, we're trying to get them into golf. You know, some, you know, youth minorities, younger women, we're trying to get them access to golf, you know, lessons and golf courses. And so, you know, part of Golf 2020 and part of what I've done is I've provided some scholarships for younger kids that maybe their families couldn't afford golf. And at this point, you know, that's sort of like out of my own pocket, but at some point we're raising money for Golf 2020 to provide, you know, the means for golf coaches to be paid for coaching some people that wouldn't have access to it. And so just making it a win-win. The great thing about golf, and the reason why, you know, I know that this sort of movement is going to succeed, is that there's so much money in golf. You know, that's part of the thing of like, golf is the platform where the people are at that create all the systems that need the change. And so, if you're in a different sport, there's money in all these different sports, but golf is like, we know, I'll just say it, like, golf is for rich people, but it's not. But rich people play, successful business people love to play golf. They love taking golf trips. And so we as golf pros have the platform to sort of like keep one foot in their world and say, like, we see what you're doing, like, we respect what you've built over your life, like a lot of wealth, a lot of like monetary success. And then it's kind of like, but like, we could also support bringing up the bottom, and all of these stigmas around, chemical pesticide use and exclusivity. It's kind of like just awareness, creating some awareness of that. It's almost like if we create more of an awareness around it, it will almost fix itself, so really all I'm trying to do is help shine the light, and it's exciting.
And how are you doing, and we might be touching on the same thing you spoke about earlier, and how are you doing that in your communities?
Yeah, how am I doing it in my community? Here on Salt Spring Island, we put together a group last year to build a covered driving range, so that, it rains here a lot in the winter, and our golf season is 6 or 7 months, and so the covered driving range, could make it a, 10 to 11, January, February here, pretty cold. But a 10 to 11 month season. And so, with that, we're expanding on the Friday junior program on Salt Spring Island. Schools aren't in on Friday. And so I thought, if we have this covered driving range and we have a golf pro here that is part of the community, now we're going to get maybe like a Friday golf school, like drop your kid off at 9 a.m., pick them up at noon. We could have a morning and afternoon, so a lot of families are really excited about that. And we raised almost $100,000 over the last year, and we've gotten all the permits we need. I think by April that building's going to be up. So that's something that when that goes up, it will be really nice to see. On a larger scale, a couple months ago at the PGA of British Columbia Championship over on Vancouver Island in Comox, I decided that I was going to wear shorts the final round of the tournament to sort of highlight the difference of gender dress codes in golf. And it's one of those things where I think I mentioned him earlier, Coach John Kennedy. He was not my college coach, but he was my swing coach right after college. He always said, if you're a professional and you want to be successful, take a look at everything that you do, and everything that you do has to be done for a reason. You can't just say, why do you grip the club like that? Interlock, overlap. It's like, well, I don't know. I've done it my whole life. That's not an answer. It's like the reason why I grip the club like that is because I've tried every other method and this works best for me. And so just like, I think I probably got a lot of that from my parents and growing up in Santa Cruz, but then Coach Kennedy kind of put it in that way. And it was like, basically, whatever you do, like, it better damn well have a reason. Like, it can't just be because. And so it's just a bigger question. And I had a conversation with some friends last night about this, about dress codes in golf. And it's like, what's the point of a dress code in golf? And I think it's really important to just think, like, even as I sit here, I still don't really know. I know that when I go out with my friends to a nice restaurant, I want to look nice because we're like having a good time and it's nice to look nice. I wouldn't go and get a nice steak in San Francisco or something without, dressing nice. But it's like, if you want to have a good time, like, there's always room for a ballroom dance. But it's like, why are dress codes at golf courses and what's the purpose of them? And I do think that dress codes do have a purpose because it's a sign of respect. It's like, if I go to play golf with you and I show up in my pajamas, it's kind of like, or a job interview, it's like, do you respect this job interview? It's like, you took the time to like shave, put yourself together, comb your hair. And so I think that dress codes are important, but what I dislike is the differences in dress codes between genders. It's like the standard dress code is men have to wear slacks. This is like on the professional side, but also at most nice country clubs. And then women are allowed to wear dresses or shorts. And then most people want a collar. Now, a collared shirt, like, I don't think that a collared shirt's necessary. I think a t-shirt's fine, especially here on Salt Spring. But if you want to say wear a collar, that's fine. But My issue is, why are we allowing women, it's not even letting them, why is a woman's dress code different from a man's, and who's benefiting from that? Like, sure, you're a woman, like, you can wear a skirt, that's great, you're gonna be cooler during the day, but like us men, then what, we appreciate it because you're pretty, because you have nice legs, like, the whole thing is just, I really dislike it. And so, I'm not saying everybody has to wear pants, I'm not saying everybody can wear shorts. You decide at your golf club, just like in your home, if I say, like, I want you to take your shoes off at the door, like, if you want to be in my home, you're probably going to do it. And so let's just decide as a golf culture to say one dress code, all people. It's 2020, so we know that there's a lot of different genders and gender identities, and sometimes the sex that you're born with is not necessarily the gender you identify with. And so I think it's just time to, like, start taking a look at stuff like that. And so I wore shorts as a bit of a stand, and I got fined for it, which is kind of funny to me. But, I'm happy to jump back in the association. I'm happy to pay my fine. But what I'd like to see is I'd like to see change. And based on some of the emails that I'm getting from some of the people really high up in the PGA of Canada, I think change is coming. So, one person makes a difference like that, just a simple statement, and sure, it's going to cost me $350, but if $350 could really start, like, getting the ball rolling and changing the culture of golf, like, sign me up. So it's exciting.
Like you said, I mean, there is so much money in golf. So many people, lots of people play golf. The tournaments are huge. They attract, everyone watches golf on TV.
Yeah.
Everyone is watching golf. There's a huge opportunity to lead by example.
Yeah.
And and you've got little kids, like you mentioned about, how do you answer, your little one who's just starting to take an interest in golf and wants to play golf, why do they have to wear one thing over another? How do you answer that question, right? So
yeah, it's time, like being from the US and living in Canada and traveling around the world playing professional golf, you see different cultures, and I obviously have, like, a big connection to the United States, and I think Canada has a big connection to the United States, and right now, like, we're sitting here 3 days after the election and kind of waiting to see what happens. And I don't really want to get too political, but just, how do you answer to your 6-year-old daughter or 6-year-old son, like, he has to wear pants but your sister can wear shorts? And it's like, it's just time, it's like 2020 is the time, and to have a shift. And so I'm doing something about it, and I hope that whatever I'm doing on the very small scale provides a platform for other people to be like, oh, I could do this, that little thing. So it's cool.
So do you feel like that's the whole thing, right? It's about making things relatable. Like Tom Watson, he made a mistake too. He was relatable. You are out in the community talking with people. You're not just on the golf course. You're not just, you're no longer touring. You're here, you're working in the community with kids, with adults, and sharing your experience of golf in a different way, and making, sharing your passion to impassion others. And then also, being, I guess, at an age in your life where your life becomes more purposeful. Why are we doing this? Like, I think who does it's Robin Williams who does a great skit, right, on golf. You're like shooting the golf ball down the range into, like,
what's the point of it all?
What's the point?
Yeah, I think you have to ask yourself, why are you doing something? What's the point of it? And as my mentor said, things are important if we say they're important. We say golf's important. But to me, golf's not important unless we're using it as a platform to do something. It's like, yes, you're getting into your body. Yes, you're outside with your friends. But if the game is actually promoting, gender differences and exclusivity and, classism and use of chemical pesticides, then I don't really want to play. I'd rather do something that didn't involve that. And so I think that most people realize that just the time is now to start making change. And so here we are, the end of 2020, and then we have the whole rest of our lives. And yeah, it's ripe right now to have change in the game.